Lord. Welcome everybody to JTeen's December 2019 Professional Development Webinar. The title, as you see on your screen, Expand Your Program Reach Through the Power of Social Media. And I am thrilled to turn the tables over to someone who I call a friend. I've known her for now quite a few years. We've worked together, Sydney Robinson, and she is going to thrill you and wow you with all of the amazing knowledge and experience that she has. So Sydney, it is all yours.
Hey everyone, thank you Erica so much for having me, and I'm so excited to be here. I have a business called Renaissance Marketing Group. We have an office in Nashville, Tennessee and Atlanta, Georgia, and we pretty much help business owners and really just anyone who wants to leverage social media to promote their program, to promote their business, to promote their group, whatever it is. We really are social media gurus. And so I was really excited when Erica asked me today to partner with you all and just kind of educate you guys on what platforms to focus on to reach Jewish teens and just teens in general, and how to do so. There's going to be some sections in my presentation where you guys can ask me questions, and I will let you know sort of when we've hit that section. I definitely want you guys to ask me questions. So as they come up, if you want to write them down or jot them down so you don't forget, I would appreciate that, because I think my whole goal here today is, yes, to educate you on the platforms and talk about who's using them and how they're using them. But I really think that you will get the most value from this by asking me exactly what you want to know and just picking my brain. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, the first slide, teens on social media. So I just wanted to kind of run through sort of which apps are the most successful for teens and when they're using them and why they're using them, so you guys can sort of get a better understanding of why I'm choosing to talk about these certain apps today. So the first thing, Instagram continues to attract a younger audience, with 72% of teens saying they use this platform. There's been a huge shift. I mean, even in this last year, Instagram just continues to rise. 72% of teens go on Instagram every single day. Facebook usage for teens is dropping gradually. I mean, for teenagers, it really is. I mean, I really haven't met a teenager in the last year or two who's even on Facebook. They're really just getting straight to Instagram, or some of them are just going straight to Snapchat, straight to TikTok, and we're going to talk about all these different things today. 96% of online American teens watch YouTube videos. The Centennial generation right now, they're not even using Google really to look up information. They're just going straight to YouTube to look up and research things. And I've asked some of them, and I've done research on this, and they say they just would so much rather learn something visually through video than they would anywhere else. And I'm sure a lot of you are realizing that and getting video content way more in your classrooms or in your programs, because that's just really how we're going to be able to reach teens today and keep them captivated. 60% of American Snapchat users are under the age of 25. Just huge for Snapchat. We're going to talk a lot about Snapchat today. Sort of another recap, sort of went through this already, but 85% of teens are on YouTube, 72% on Instagram, 69% Snapchat, 15% on Facebook. So we really aren't going to talk a lot about Facebook today, because I'm assuming that you're all on Facebook. I love Facebook. It's incredible. Facebook owns Instagram. So a lot of what I do for my clients is through the Facebook platform, just to manage Instagram. But primarily, it's just not going to be it's going to be a great way for you all to reach the parents of your teens, which I think is super beneficial. And we can talk about that. But if we're just going to talk about reaching the teens and how to reach the teens, we need to be on other platforms in creative ways. So today we're going to talk a lot on Snapchat and a lot on Instagram. Why do teens like Snapchat? And I don't know if you all are on Snapchat, or your children are, or your teens and your groups are. But basically, here's why they love it. You can really control how long a friend can see your snaps, up to 10 seconds. Friends can only open your snaps. When I say snaps, your message. It could be a video, it could be a photo, it could be just a written message that you're going to directly send to a friend. You can also add a snap to your snap story where everyone in your friend group can see it, for 24 hours only. So it's a very sort of quick to consume content platform. There's no likes and comments on Snapchat. It's really just more about sharing, direct moments with your friends in a more instantaneous way. No one can see how many friends that you have, which, if you've been kind of following along with kind of some things that's been going on with Instagram lately, they're going to be getting rid of likes and the like count on your Instagram posts, and they're doing that because of mental health, really in our youth. They found that basically teenagers in particular were very upset if their picture or post didn't get a lot of likes. So Snapchat can be good in that way, in that you don't necessarily know, it's not, you don't have a following and you don't know who's liking, how many people are liking your post. It's fun. And today we're going to talk about these apps and really just know in the back of your mind, the core for reaching teens using the social media platforms I'm going to mention today. It's really all about fun. It's really all about entertaining, but there's a way that we can do this where we're also educating, while we're also promoting, while we're also getting the word out there in the way that we want to. You can edit your snaps with captions, fun emojis, funny effects, filters, and more. So, how can we leverage Snapchat for teens? So how can we all be using Snapchat in our programs, in our youth groups, in our organizations? The first thing you have to do is you have to connect with them. So you need to learn what their Snapchat usernames are. You need to, use other ways that you communicate with them, like text messages, email, and ask them, what are your Snapchat, when you're in person with them, write them down, or, give them your phone and say, hey, add your Snapchat to mine so I can communicate with you on there. That's really going to be the first step, is letting them know that you're on Snapchat and that you really want to engage with them on that platform. This next point really goes to all platforms. Don't post and ghost. So you have to check in daily. If you want to reach teens on social media, you cannot just say, well, I'm just going to do it once a week, or I'm just going to check in every so often. You have to make a commitment to it, and you have to be consistent with it. And the more you are consistent with it, the more easier and more natural it will become for you to use it and to post on it and to engage with your teens on there, and just other people in general. So just remember that. And remember, it's all about fun and entertainment. Use your Snapchat to remind them about events, upcoming gatherings, and more. You can do this by sending video messages. We're going to talk a lot today about video and why I think video is just like the most important thing that you all can be doing in 2019, 2020 to reach your teens. So we're going to talk about that right now. I just kind of want to educate you guys on each one and why they're important, and then we're going to kind of get more into the nitty-gritty. Okay, so that was our Snapchat section. So if anyone has any questions for me on Snapchat, I would love to answer those now, or we can wait until the end of the presentation. But I did want to touch on that first off.
And if you've got a quick question, just make sure to unmute yourself so that people can hear you.
I have a quick question. I was surprised you said check in daily, because I know that I get totally annoyed with people on Facebook who post stupid things daily. So is the idea that it's got to be something clever, witty, funny, ironic on a daily basis?
So here's why teens like Snapchat so much. Facebook is, it's very invasive. It's so much. The thing with Snapchat is people can choose what content that they want to see. So it's not, I don't know if you've been on the Snapchat platform, but it's not a feed where you're flooded with content. You actually have to click to see what someone has Snapchatted or posted on their Snapchat in order, you know, to consume it. So it's not like you're going to log in and just be flooded with articles and things like that, like the Facebook feed. You choose what to see. And when I say check in, I'm not necessarily saying you need to post every single day. Now, in a perfect world, if I could guide you on this one-on-one, I would say, yeah, actually you should post every single day, because that's what your teens are doing. They're on that Snapchat. I'm not kidding you. Probably every hour they're checking it, if not more. I mean, I know I am, and I'm 27, but, so yes, I mean, it's not a platform where you're flooded as soon as you get on there. You choose what you want to open on this platform, which is really different than any other platform that exists.
Do we think that teens would choose to open their Sababa, my Sababa message?
So, you know, I think that there's a sort of a delicate way that you can get them on there. I think, you know, you obviously don't want to over flood them. You know, you don't want to, you know, be sending them Snapchats all the time and then them just thinking, oh my gosh, every time I get on here, she sends me something or whatever. I mean, you want to be very respectful of their time on there. But I think that it's a conversation that you just have with them, just in a real authentic way in person. And you just say, look, I feel like I want to stay in touch with you all. I want to know what you're up to. And I want you to stay engaged with the things that I'm, you know, posting about or talking about as it relates to, you know, our group. And in just a little bit, I'm going to talk about a couple of different ways that you guys can do that using Instagram. So absolutely.
And it may be, Sydney, real quick, Sally, it may be a way to actually engage your student leaders too. So not only to have a conversation with what they're looking for, but also maybe even having some of them be social media managers and manage that account by posting content that they believe their friends and, you know, other kids in the community might be interested in. So just sort of keep that in the back of your mind too.
Great.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so now we're talking about Instagram, which is really my favorite. I think Snapchat's amazing and they really on there, but I think when it comes to Instagram and really connecting with them in a way that isn't obnoxious, isn't invasive, and it's just a little bit more personal, Instagram is just really, I think, where it is for this particular group of people that I'm talking to today. So through the different features Instagram offers, teens can be more expressive and creative on this app. It is known as more of the artsy app. Your feed is curated based on your interests and what you want to see. If you like traveling or post about it, your feed will be curated full of travel inspiration posts and those types of accounts. So the content on Instagram is usually higher quality and more visually stimulating. So just make note of that. It's really, it's a photo sharing platform first. That's what it was for. It really wasn't for long-winded, captions. It really first wasn't even a video sharing platform. That really was something that came in just like several years ago, but it's photos first. So just know that when you're creating graphics or you're putting anything out there that professional, I say professional, but decently taken photos, edited, they just do better on this platform. It's just, people just want to see a clean, good visual. So there's a ton of great also editing features within the app when you go to post something on Instagram as well. And I apologize if a lot of you are very familiar with Instagram and I'm just like talking like, okay, we know this, girl, but I didn't want to assume anything. So, people don't, this is another great point that she was just saying, people don't post 1,000 times a day on Instagram. Many are much more polite about posting, either doing once a day, a few times a week, etc. This means that there isn't that constant flow of content being shoved down your throat like we have seen before on Facebook. And it's actually possible to get caught up with your Instagram feed depending on the number of people that you choose to follow. So the takeaway here is on your Instagram feed, we're going to talk about stories in a second, but on your Instagram feed, don't overpost. Really, just know that this is not the platform for that. It's really funny. My parents are on social media, God love them, and they sometimes will just post like 8 times a day, and I get on my feed and I'm like, they're treating this like it's Facebook or something. And so just be aware that and I'm really just kind of trying to speak the teen language here too, and that's what they just want to see. If you're going to post, let's say if we're not posting every day, let's post 5 times a week. 4 times, great. But let's continue to be consistent, but let's just do the once a day thing, not multiple times a day. So how can we leverage Instagram for teens? So if you haven't already, definitely create an Instagram profile for your group, your organization, your program. And this would be something that would be separate from your personal Instagram account. So I highly suggest having a personal Instagram account, but then also having one for your program. This is sort of like what I was saying with Snapchat. Here, you're gonna wanna ask your teens, can I follow you on Instagram, or can you follow our program on Instagram? Or just go and follow them. You can actually connect your phone contacts to your Instagram, so you actually can find a lot of them through if you have their phone number. So that's another way. But that's definitely going to be the first step in how do I get people on this page. It's just going to be a lot of like asking, sharing, using email and text message to send the link to your Instagram profile, to send your handle out in a text message or an email, and just let them know this is something that you're doing it, and then share your why. Why are you having this page? Why is it important with you? Say to them, like, I really want to reach you all. I want to engage with you, not just when we're having our groups, events or gatherings. And I want to stay into contact, and I want to stay in touch with you. So Instagram this year released their new private groups feature. This is such a great way that you all can reach and communicate with your teens in a way that isn't invasive. And group text, we are all in group text messages, and they can be annoying, right? They can be like, oh my gosh, I just want to get out of this group text. But for some reason, it's this sort of the same type of thing on Instagram. It's just better because then as soon as you log into your Instagram, you see the notifications and you can just kind of check it throughout your day. So it is only up to 32 people that can be in an Instagram group. So if you have a larger organization, this wouldn't be something. This would be more for a smaller kind of group, under 32 people. So just make note of that. But if you are under the 32 person range in your group or organization, you can easily create, and we're going to share this slideshow with you guys. So there's a comment box below this slideshow with a link of how to create a group. So it's like sort of step by step. So we will definitely make sure that you all have that if this is something that you're interested in.
Sydney.
Yes.
Sorry. Real quick. I know you're saying about 32 people in the group, but if you segment that group, say you have a Hebrew High program and you've got 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, if you segment it into grades, could you then?
Yes, absolutely.
Each grade. Okay. To reach more people. Okay.
Great point. Yes, you can absolutely do that. And it's that way you can kind of have it organized as well. So all of this, when it comes to the group, is going to go down in your direct messages, which is the top right-hand little arrow thing on your Instagram feed on your Instagram. And that's where you'll go to access your group. So you can actually title the group names. You can say 9th graders, 10th graders, whatever it is. And that way you'll just know to be organized there. And that's fantastic. And the cool thing about it too is, you can share images, videos, and voice messages there. So it's just, another way to kind of break up sort of just a lot of verbiage and conversation going on. As I said, teens love video, they love imagery, and they love voice messages. It's just kind of the way that they want to consume what people are saying and things like that. So on that, Instagram direct messaging is just a huge way to stay engaged with your teens. I do suggest, just in addition, it does sound like a lot of work, but that's why we're all here. We want to learn how to engage with them more. I do suggest sending a direct message to, several of your teens just throughout the week, check in with them there, or if they posted something on their story, there's actually a comment box below their story that they posted, where you can respond. So if they posted something funny, you could respond and you could say, that's funny, or how's it going? You know, just checking in with them. So definitely know that teens love to be engaged with on Instagram direct messaging, because it's not something everyone else can see. It's not a comment on their post. It's a more private setting, and they're used to it. It's called the DMs, to sort of speak the lingo. So Instagram stories. So we've talked a little bit about video today. This is really where it comes into play for me. Instagram stories is primarily a video sharing platform. They're short 12-second long videos, just kind of like Snapchat, where they only last 24 hours on your story. You can use your group story to show behind the scenes of whatever you're doing, whether you guys are planning something really big for your organization, for your program. Share what you're doing, you know, the planning stages. That will drum up the excitement and really get them excited about it. And definitely make sure to share the call to action, what you want them to do after you post that. You know, sign up at the link in my profile. You know, Instagram's a platform where you can't share links. Their links are not clickable on that platform. So you really do have to update the link in your profile if you want to get them to click over to a website. And Instagram story, it's, you know, one of those platforms where you really just have to play around with it and use it often in order to get comfortable with it. They have a lot of new fun features, such as polls. So you could actually post a poll on your story where you could say, you know, for our next meetup, do you guys want to do this, or you do want to do this? And they can actually vote. So your teens, and once you get them on your Instagram, they can vote and see, and you'll be able to see the results. So you'll be able to capture some data. And then GIFs, which are just basically funny, moving sort of cartoons that you can put as like stickers on your Instagram stories, just to make it a little bit more fun and visually captivating. Okay, so this is just continued how I can leverage Instagram for teens. So just at the forefront of everything that you do on your social media, really the number one thing is the quality of the content that you're creating. You know, it all comes down to that. So I will suggest, you know, if you're like, okay, well, what do I post on my Instagram? What do I post on my Snapchat? Put some time aside every single week, whether it's a Sunday, you know, evening or a Monday morning, where you're like kind of organizing what you're going to post that week. I highly suggest doing that so that it's not like it's a Tuesday and you're like, oh, I haven't posted something today, but I need to get this out. And then you're just kind of throwing something together. Really write down, you know, have a calendar and write down, okay, what do we have coming up? What are some events we have? Or, you know, what's some fundraising that we need to be doing? Or, you know, what's an interesting fact about what's going on now that I want them to kind of know about? Write all of these things down, sort of like these goals that you have, and then create the content accordingly. Another way that you can sort of get ideas is sort of look at what other pages are doing that are sort of in the same space that you are, to kind of get your creative juices flowing on what you should be posting. Use your profile and the content that you create to educate and to entertain, not promote. Now, when I say that, it's sort of a delicate dance. You don't just want to use your social media to say, you know, sign up, click the website, give me a call, join, you know, you want to sort of post in a warm way where you're getting them really interested in what you're doing, more than just, well, all they want me to do is just attend their thing. When I'm more curious as to what I'm going to get from, you know, from joining this, or from, you know, following this page. So I always say to my clients, if you edutain, they will come. So whatever it is your teens want to be aware of when it comes to Israel, your group, etc., just create interesting posts about these topics. Use interesting facts, statistic, captivating images and visuals. And one of my favorite platforms, you know, because sometimes, you know, it's like, well, I just need a graphic, or I've posted too many pictures, or I don't have a picture for what I kind of want to say today. There's a great website that's free, and it's called Canva. And we use it in my office all the time. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I don't have Photoshop. I need to be a graphic designer, you don't need to have any graphic design skills to create a great quality graphic for social media. As I said, it's free, and they have a million templates. So if you're like, well, our colors for our school or our organization are, blue and white, you can, completely change the colors of a template so that you're sticking to a similar color theme or palette for your graphics, just so that you've got sort of a more cohesiveness to your feed. You don't, as I said earlier, teens and just young people, we can spot sort of an Instagram account that's run by someone who doesn't know Instagram very well, like that. We've just become very sensitive to it, and I'm not saying that to scare you. I just want you all to sort of be aware that you will get a better response if you do take the time to create better quality sort of images and things like that. And they'll be very impressed with you as well. So I want to open it up now to let you guys ask me any and all questions about Instagram and reaching teens through using Instagram.
Sorry, I know I'm keep stealing the show, but
Steal the show.
No, I just want to say that I do have a student leader in a youth group that I'm working with who is in charge of social media. I constantly have to remind her of what to do, so they don't just own it and go with it always like we want them to. However, I posted a flyer a few months back because she didn't get a chance to. And a couple of days later, she messaged me and said, Erica, I just want you to know I went back in and fixed it so it fit in the Instagram, whatever size, whatever. So, again, using their expertise to help with some of these things can be really beneficial because they know exactly what to do and they can do it in a second versus us having to relearn and rediscover and figure out, how to do all of that. So definitely use them as a resource.
And Canva on that, Erica, is, I don't know what she used, but that's a
great
we
use
tool
Canva
to resize a graphic for Instagram. Every platform has a different sizing for certain graphics. So
yeah. And I know you put the note about Edutain, and I think that a lot of us are, looking for images just of things that have gone on in our programs or like things that are specific to the program. But I love that you said, like, find things about Israel. You can find a cartoon. You can find, stuff about Judaism or, an image, like whatever it is, something that obviously connects to the work that we're doing, but it doesn't have to be that promo kind of piece that ends up getting a little bit stale and dry.
And another tool too to use that is kind of underrated, and I haven't really mentioned it, but Pinterest is a great tool to find these edutaining sort of pieces of content. So whether it's a cartoon, whether it's a recipe, whether it's, just an interesting visual, just type in, I've used it before for the Center for Israel Education. I do their social media, and I type in, interesting graphics, Israel teens. And like, there are a lot of you all, like people like you that are on Pinterest sharing their classroom activities and different things that they're doing that's working, and they're sharing those activities, things like that on Pinterest. So definitely use tools like that, and also Google's wonderful. Any other questions on Instagram?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I've gotten you on screen, Sydney, and I didn't realize how young you were. You're so able.
Thank you.
The question I really had, by the way, I find that simply typing in Google a word, Hanukkah, followed by PIX, and you get gazillions. And all you have to do is copy and paste. So that's for static pictures. Thereafter is a different problem. I don't know how to do that yet. I obviously haven't figured out how to work my camera yet either, but we got a certain amount of electronics working. If you need to learn more, if I need to learn more about Instagram or others, are there missing manuals for this? Or self-tutoring, or is it all on YouTube today?
You're saying, like, if you want to learn more about Instagram marketing,
if I want to learn how to use it properly.
Oh, how to use it. Yes. YouTube, it depends on how you want to learn, but YouTube is wonderful. There's everything. There's a step-by-step how to post a story, how to post on Instagram, how to update my bio, how to update the link in my bio. Just like with Google, be very specific, or you could even Google that as well, and they would have articles. As I said, I'm going to share you guys an article that does have step-by-step on how to create an Instagram group, but YouTube would probably be easier.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got your. And now I still want to. I know my camera's working. I just can't get it to work. Okay, we're in.
All right, Sydney, go for it.
Okay. So as I've talked about today, there's one big similarity in any platform really that's very, very popular for teens and social media right now. And the major player that we should all just embrace and do more of and just commit to in 2020 is video. It's just everything right now in social media, as I've said a million times today. I think that no matter what you're doing, even if you think what you're doing work-wise and for your programs is boring or just like, well, this is, share behind the scenes video content of your planning, of what's coming up. Especially if you're at your program events or meetups or gatherings, take your phone and pan a 10-second video of the room, showing the smiling faces, showing everyone having a good time, or just engaging in an activity. This is something I just try to get all of my clients on board with, because it's just incredible how many more views you can get in a video based on versus how many likes you can get on a photo. So, through using stories, I just suggest getting comfortable at being in front of the camera. I know it's not easy for everyone. It's certainly not easy for me, but you just have to sort of just think, well, you know what is the worst thing that can happen? The good thing about using an Instagram story is if you messed up, it's not live. You can delete it and you can start again. But I just suggest taking the phone every now and then and just saying, you can send a selfie video to your teens in that group, or to post it on your feed, or to post it on your story, and just say, I'm just checking in with you all. Hope you have a happy Hanukkah. Here's what we have coming up. Here's, what we're planning for 2020. I'm so excited. Here's what you can expect. That's just going to translate so much better to this, this age group than it is sending an email, than it is typing out a long post. Just show them your face. Don't, go long-winded and talk forever. But if you keep it under a minute, I promise you that's the sweet spot in terms of really reaching your teens. It's just getting comfortable with video. And I would suggest, when you are sitting down on that Sunday or Monday and you are creating your social media content for that week, let's do at least one video, whether it's of you, whether it's of one of your teens. If they're comfortable being on video, ask them, hey, can you maybe share a testimonial of like what your experience has been being in our program? And that will be a really good way to engage other teens to then join you. So that leads me right into this point. How can I get more teens to know about my group, organization, or just my social media pages? So as I mentioned before, the contact information that you have already for them or of their parents, let's put this in our email newsletters. Let's really get this information out there that you're trying to establish and build or further build your social media profiles. Send those links, send those social handles, invite, if you have a Facebook page, if you have a closed Facebook group, and some of them might be in there, their parents are in there, share this information in there, and let them know you're trying to build it up. Ask your teens in video messaging to invite their friends and colleagues to your page. That's really how you're going to attract more people that you want to attract, by asking your existing tribe. I gotta go back. Oh, what's happening? Sorry, everyone. My screen is frozen. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So you can ask your teens in video messages to invite their friends and colleagues to your page. Use social media in your group meetings. You know, that's something that's really big that I've sort of been talking about. When you are meeting with your teens, wherever you're with them, you know, take selfies with them, capture pictures of what's going on, share the fun things, you know, with their permission. And another thing that you could also do if you're like, okay, what I'm doing and what I'm posting isn't necessarily working. Let them privately and anonymously leave feedback from you. Give out pieces of paper and say, okay, I know some of you are on my Instagram. What am I doing wrong? Or what could I be doing more of? And really get that feedback. You know, I don't necessarily know what they want to see, but they will want to know, you know, and you might have to be a little specific with them and say, okay, I really want to know how we can get better attendance in our, you know, meetups in 2020. I'm just throwing that out there. What can I be posting about that you guys, you know, would engage you more or your friends more, and let them write that down and really take that to heart and just kind of build your content accordingly. An idea that I had as well was to do teen takeovers on Instagram if that's something that they might be interested in. So allow one of your teens to take over your Instagram story, kind of like Erica was saying, that they will know exactly how to do that. They will take your Instagram, and they will just, you know, you'll have to guide them a little bit and sort of say what you want them to be posting about. But maybe that's, you know, a day in the life of a Jewish teen. You know, what are they doing in school? What is a day in the life of them? How are they bringing Israel into their everyday life? You know, whether it's, you know, the dinner table with their families, you know, the content that they're consuming on social media, I'm not sure, but that might be a sort of a unique way to get them to share. And then you're getting a teen on video on your Instagram, which is going to translate in a better way to other teens. They're going to be like, oh, wow, that's really cool. That might be something I'd want to do. I'd want to show, you know, my peers sort of the day in the life of me. And this could work in so many different ways, but I just wanted to share that idea as another way to just really get them engaged, because guess what? If you announce that they're doing a takeover tomorrow or next Sunday or whatever it is, their friends are going to want to watch, which is going to make your engagement and your views go up on your Instagram profile. Consistency, I mentioned, commit to posting. I say at least 5 times a week. I know that can be a little bit overwhelming to some people. But if you can't commit to posting that many times a week, just make sure that the posts that you do have are just your best work, in your opinion, your most quality. Don't just throw something out there for the sake of throwing it out there. Just really give it some thought, and you will be golden. And then if you want, so say you post something on your Instagram page and you're like, well, this isn't getting a lot of likes. Maybe they're not seeing it. And it's actually true, because Instagram's just become such an oversaturated platform. Actually, there's a study that says that really only 10% of your followers will see your post. And that's crazy. And it is true that the more you engage with a certain account, like when I say engage, I mean liking, commenting, or watching one of their videos, the more that you're going to see their account and their posts pop up. So the key to keeping an engaged community is getting your existing community to like, comment, and view your posts. So the way that you can do that is, say you post something and, you know, 20 minutes goes by and, you know, you've gotten 3 likes. That happens. What you can do is you can utilize your groups that you've created, and you can use the share button on your post, which is the little arrow thing at the very top right, actually bottom right of your Instagram post. Share that your post to your groups and also to individuals. So say, you know, Billy, you really want Billy to know about this post that you just posted. Share it with him in a direct message and say something. Say, hey, I just posted this. Let me know what you think. Or go check it out. Or, oh, I'd really appreciate a like. Or share the post with the group and say, hey guys, you know, I'm really trying here on my Instagram, really trying to get you guys to notice my stuff. Could you check it out? Could you like it? And if you ask, they're totally going to appreciate that, and they will go over there. The odds are they're not just choosing to not like your post. They just haven't seen it because of how crazy Instagram is, and by how many accounts people are typically following on a daily basis. So just don't take it personally, but do take the initiative to share the posts that you're posting with everyone in those direct messaging groups so that they see everything.
And I think that actually responds to Sally's point too, is that if you're posting 5 times a week and they're only seeing one of those posts a week, then you're still, captivating and keeping them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's why I say just to be consistent, because we can't guarantee everyone's going to see every single post that you post out there, but the more consistent that you are, the better your chances are going to be that they saw something, right? And that's the point. And that's why, we don't want to be obnoxious. Obviously, the teen generation, they are sensitive to, adults being on social media and overdoing it on social media. But I think by having these groups, that's going to make them just more aware. Okay, mentally, this is that group that's for this particular, discussion, and that's where those posts are going to go. So they're not going to flood, by having this group, I know they're not going to flood my feed. They're not going to send me a million direct messages. This is where I'm going to be. And I think they're actually going to love to be able to have that space to engage with each other, in addition to engaging with you, engaging with each other after a meeting or after a session or whatever it is. They're going to appreciate that. And I think you just want to make sure it doesn't go stale, because I've seen that happen from time to time with groups where it's just kind of nobody's posting anything. And that the reason for that is maybe nothing super interesting is going on, or no one's really sharing anything super interesting. But that might be, if you want to keep those groups engaged, that might be where once a week, maybe every Sunday, you're sending a question. What are your goals this week? Or what's something I can help you with this week? Or how can we all, question of the week or something like that, just to keep them engaged, and just keep, the community flowing, if that makes sense. Is there any more questions about this particular topic? Yes.
So the question I have, how do teens post to your Instagram account? How do they gain access for a takeover? Do you have to share the password? How does that all work?
So for a takeover, you would have to give them the password. Yes, your username and password. And then from there, they should know exactly what to do. I would just say to them that you, it's an Instagram story takeover, and that's something that they'll be familiar with that. If I had to guess, that's something a lot of brands will do. They will hire influencers or bloggers to take over their Instagram story. And the way that works successfully is because the influencer or blogger is going to be talking about the takeover. And a lot of people are like, well, I want to know what she's up to, the day in life her. So I'm going to follow this big brand, and therefore resulting in more followers for the brand or more followers for you. So you really need to look at your teens as influencers, right? I can't believe it, but it's I do follow teens. I have, nieces and nephews and things like that. And they have thousands of followers, and it's just all of their friends. And it's just crazy, the networks that these kids build and the influence that they really have on each other. So just know that the more power, if you can get one teen talking about your group and what you're doing over there and sharing about it on their personal pages, they are going to bring friends. So just know that for sure.
And you can update your password too. You can change your password every single time if you wanted to, just to re-own it after each takeover.
Right. So as far as the teens share, they can't really share pictures on your Instagram feed. If they're having an activity and taking pictures, they can't just upload it onto your page. They would have to hashtag it or something.
Are you talking about the takeover still?
No.
You're
Just,
saying-
just sharing
So-
things on our school's Instagram page.
Unless they had access to that,
Mhm.
they wouldn't be able to share to yours. It's not like Facebook where you can share to the wall or share to the feed. They can share a direct message to your page, to you all, but it would just be seen by you or whoever the account user is.
Okay.
So they can share, like, say you posted something like this event is coming up and you posted a graphic. They could share that to their story, or they could share that to their feed, which would be wonderful. And we definitely want them to be doing that.
Well, and I'm thinking, Susan, as you're asking the question, even, each class session to, the best photo of the night, or, the most engaging video, like whatever it is, it's possible also to ask them to share that piece of content with you, and that you'll put the best one, the most interactive, blah, 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 on your page, which will also, help promote them and get more people to follow the organization.
Can I object a little bit?
Yes.
I think that we're doing too much, in all due respect, top down. These kids probably, at least the kids around that I know, can outwork me in the media cold. They know everything that needs to be known. Secondly, they know how to play the game far better than I do. And thirdly, the question is, why not involve them in the planning of a separate account which they will run? I would take it as a class. News of the week in review. Let them plan it, do it, record it, push it, feed it, whatever the words are. I'm sorry.
I love it. I think that's wonderful. I think if you can put it in their hands, and if they are committing to it, and you can kind of hold them accountable. I'm not saying I think it depends on the teen, and you find someone who is organized and well-spoken and really understands the platforms and knows how to reach and grow the account. I think that's incredible, and I think that you should absolutely do that.
I'm just thinking in terms of distribution, and it can be more than one kid. It can be a small group. Within a class, we always have groups. Let them take an account, make it available when they finish the product, and the group as a whole evaluates the different projects, rather than have us evaluating whether it's good enough or bad enough, or what would they have to do to improve it. I'd like to avoid some of the adult judgment and allow them to sit on the hard place, which is choosing.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm done. Okay, on that level.
Well,
All right, Sydney, I know it's 3:00, and I think, can you do like a quick wrap up in 5 minutes with TikTok?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So really this was just, I didn't have a whole lot to say on this because I really don't think it's something that you all need to be on, or that you need to overwhelm yourselves with, if I haven't overwhelmed you today. But so TikTok is just, if we're talking about kids 13 to 18, they're using TikTok. It really took off this year. I have an article on my website that kind of gives you the nitty gritty of like what it is, exactly how to use it, all of that. I have it linked in this slideshow. But essentially, it's a video sharing platform. It's a short form, creative video sharing platform. I'm not seeing a lot of people in this particular space using it yet. I'm really just seeing individuals. I'm seeing celebrities, I'm seeing musicians, athletes, things like that. It's definitely comedy. It's definitely entertaining. It's not YouTube. It's just shorter form videos. But I really just wanted to put it on here because I couldn't talk about teens on social media without talking about TikTok, because it's just so big. So if you guys even mention TikTok, I think your teens will be very impressed with you. So just know that this is where they are, and this is a huge portion of where social media marketing is going in 2020. And I just wanted to mention it. So again, I do have that article if you want to learn more about it, linked here in the slideshow. And that is it. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much, and I can answer any more questions if we have time, but if not, this is my email address at the bottom here and my website, and I just really appreciate you all being here with us today.
Oh, I lost the picture. Yipes.
Oh no.
I'm trying to find you and the picture, and it's Sydney. What is the URL?
It's and I can email it to you if you want. It's Renaissance, RENAI.
SSANCE.
Yep, marketing group. There's
Okay.
2Gs.com.
Okay. And Erica can send out all the materials. I got pieces of it visually, and it is very exciting.
Wonderful.
It's clear I've got to update myself. Is anyone still there?
Any other questions for Sydney?
Yeah.
And I know Dove wants to ask a quick question at the end once we're finished with Sydney, but I want to make sure to get any other questions.
Sydney's here. Has everyone stayed for the meeting?
Yeah, we have a couple people on, but they're muted. So,
Okay.
all
my
right.
question was this. I'm looking to do
Well,
some
hold on, Dove.
Oh.
Let me thank Sydney.
Oh yeah, no problem.
And then I'm going to stop recording, and then we can move into your quick questions. Sydney,
Yes.
thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Erica.
We very, very much appreciate you bringing your expertise, your energy, your knowledge, all of that to the table. I look forward to being able to share this out with those who weren't on the call. I think that there is much to learn, and I have a feeling we will be inviting you back for part 2
Wonderful.
in the very near future. So thank you.
Thank
I'm going to...
Bye.
Okay.